He's here. The underdog who let the dogs out. The underdog, the one least likely to make it, the one to be voted most unlikely to do anything. The unlikely candidate. That's me. I'm here. We finna get started. I've been so excited all day, actually, about this. This is a new endeavor for me, and I get excited when I get to see y'all. It doesn't matter if it's one person that comes through or 1,000. I get excited about it because you know what I've what I pray for. When we get past the degrees and the schooling and all the accomplishments that I've had, all of my successes and my failures, my prayer has been for a long time, Lord, please allow me to be able to speak my truth, speak my mind, talk my stuff, get into it, be my authentic self, the silliness, the seriousness, the aggression, all that, get paid well for it, and be happy and look forward to doing it every day. Like that's what I want, man, and this is giving me an opportunity to start doing that. I ain't where I want to be with it, but I'll get there. It's just like anything. I ain't never did nothing easy. It's always starts crazy and then it just gets better and better. And I look up one day and it's popping. So anywho, that's why I'm excited to see you guys today and get into stuff. And I was taking notes and going through things and thinking what I'm gonna cover today. And it's always something in the news cycle and this crazy stuff that be going down, like locally, nationally too. That's what everybody talk about, but locally it gets crazy. So we gonna get into it, y'all. We gonna get into it. We're gonna talk about the mom that got dragged out of the council meeting in Arizona. That's nuts. It's crazy. We're gonna talk about what else we gonna talk about? We're gonna give a Mayor Henyard update because it's always something going on. Like Carlisle is officially being a whistleblower now. I already went through that. I'm gonna update it because it didn't do as well as I thought it was gonna do. But I got a thumbnail problem. I gotta do better with my thumbnails. So be looking out for that. And then we're gonna get deeper into what she has recently said as of like the day before yesterday or something. And then we also gonna get into the Black voters uniting, and it's gotten weird because you hear people. A lot of Black voters are talking about how they're going to support Trump and they don't like Obama no more. Like it's getting kind of crazy now. Like, I don't know, but I'm not judging. I don't think you should either. It's okay to be a liberal or conservative, whatever you want to do. That ain't what we're not here to sway. That ain't what we're here for. What we're here is to encourage thought, to invoke conversation. Because when you're being true to what you want and what you need, who can tell you you're wrong? I don't know what matters in your household, what decisions you're making in the grocery line or at the gas station. You know that. And who am I to tell you that whatever leader you pick that's going to make that situation better for you is wrong? No, what I'm trying to do is get you to think for yourself. Get you to examine all the evidence. Don't just get caught up in your best friend saying, well, girl, I'm going to vote for because, and then they said, and no. I mean, that's cool. Hear it out. But don't make your decision on that. Just say, okay, I heard, what else is everybody saying? And then do your own research and then, figure it out. That's what I want to do. So anyway, we're going to talk about Black voters uniting and what they got to say about voting for Trump and why they don't like Obama no more and all that. Because, they look at Obama as the leader of the Democrats. And I like Obama. I do. I like because I think he's a great speaker. What they call good speakers, or they have good oratory skills. They got good oratory skills. I think he's a good oratorier. I think that's how you say it. But anyway, I like Obama. Did I agree with everything he said or did? No. Do I think he could have did more? Yes. Hell yeah. Was he the best president we ever had? Hell no. I don't even know who was. But I think his job was simple. Show diversity in the White House. He did that. Give him credit for that. Could he have done more? Absolutely. Should he have done more? I think so. But but I think when we set the bar as, could we get diversity? Could we see what a black president looks like in office? He did that. And if we set the bar there, he was very successful. Now we got to push it even further. We need more. And I think we can have a good leader regardless of the color of their skin. I just hope that they just keep all of the minorities in mind, especially the African-American community, just because of disparities that's happened. But we need a good leader for this country that's good for what the country is supposed to stand for. Freedom and opportunity. And that's going to be good for all races, but also be sensitive to the needs of races that have had disparities culturally. You got to be sensitive to it. I mean, stuff didn't happen. So anyway, we'll get into that. And then we're going to get back into the Michaela thing. That thing was long when people were just calling in and her back and forth, but it was rather entertaining. And I think she raises a lot of good points to make you think about. And so I think we'll just touch on a little bit of that when we wrap up today, and maybe touch on that a little more tomorrow if there's some left. So we'll see how that goes. But anywho, let's go and get down to the nitty gritty. Let's look at this mama who got dragged out of the Arizona councilman meeting. And I'm saying it's funny, but it's not. Here's why I say it's funny, but it's not. It's not funny because it's serious. And I don't condone putting your hands on women and all that. I really don't. But I do condone the rules. And she didn't think that she thought that she could go up in there and start saying whatever she wanted to say in this governing body, and it was going to go her way. It don't play like that. And I feel like if she was more involved, like I encourage everybody to do with the local politics and stuff, and kind of being around, you can read the room. You can kind of know the rules, know what's happening, and you're going to get treated differently. Relationships matter. She walked up in this councilman meeting and tried to read them, tried to let them know what it was, and they mayor wasn't having it. And Skip, the mayor in this town, so the town is called Surprise, Arizona. Surprise. Surprise, Arizona. She got a surprise, all right. And the mayor, his name is Skip Hall. I can't think of his real first name right now, but they call him Skip. Them dudes they call Skip don't play. They'll skip all over you. Anywho, let me show you what happened. Let me show you what happened, and then we'll talk about it on the other side.
Do not touch me. Do not put your hands on me.
Just step out with me.
Do not put your hands on me.
Come on out.
Do not put your hands on me.
Come out with me now before you get arrested. Do you understand?
Listen, are you detaining me?
Yes.
Why am I being detained? Under what charges? Under what charges?
Okay, so
Hey, I have personal property.
Hold on.
You cannot touch me.
yeah, she can go out there. Okay, I'll entertain a motion to go into E-session.
Motion to go into E-session?
Second.
Been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye. Aye. We're going into E-session.
Never in a thought that they were going to charge me for sales. So
now, y'all saw that. I don't know what to say right when the emotions hit me of watching something like that, because on one hand, it's like, yeah, it went down, right? They got her on up out of there. She thought it was going to be one way, and it wasn't that. But then the other thing is, it's always awkward to see a woman manhandled, right? Because if I would have been there, I would have wanted to jump up and kind of stop the officer, right? Be like, dog, hold up, bro. Like, don't do it like that, man. Just man, let's walk out together. Can't we go together? That's how I would have wanted to be. That's what my heart is. Because I love women like that. But then the other part is like, well, the rules is the rules, and we done told you to shut it down. All right, shut it down, or we dragging your ass up out of here. But then when you do that and you see it happen, it's like, ooh, that didn't feel right. That didn't pass the taste test. The smell test on that was real dirty. I've actually seen that though. We had a situation in one of our councilman meetings where actually it was worse, really. That was kind of light. What really happened was we had a wait, I'm gonna save that story. Listen, I'm gonna save that story. I'm gonna say that story, and let's go back a little bit. Let's watch that again, but let's move it back and see how it all played out. And then I promise I'm gonna get to that story because it's a pretty interesting story, how that went down. But I want to see how we got there because I can't just play no video for y'all with a late word. This white lady get dragged up out of there, and then don't nobody know what happened or nothing. That's not right. Wait a minute. Let me go. Let's go.
Public records requests that I have open right now that are, quote, pending legal review that I am entitled
Ms. Massey,
to request.
I've got to interrupt you here because.
Okay, are you going to stop the timer?
This is the public meeting forum that you agree to when you speak. And I want to read this to you, that there are oral communications during the city council meeting may not be used to lodge charges or complaints against any employee of the city or members of the body, regardless of whether such person is identified in the presentation by the name or by any other reference that tends to identify him or her.
That's all fine, well and good, but that's a violation of my First Amendment rights.
Yeah, so this is your warning, okay?
Warning for what?
A warning for attacking the city attorney personally.
This is all factual information.
It doesn't matter.
You're violating my First Amendment rights.
This is what you agree to when you first speaking. This is the form.
It is unconstitutional, Mayor Hall.
Well, it's not unconstitutional.
It is.
And if you're
the Supreme Court has upheld. I could get up here and I could swear at you for 3 straight minutes, and it is protected speech by the Supreme Court. It is.
No, you can't.
Why don't you look at case law?
No, you can't.
I can.
So if you want to be
also the chair is engaged in a debate. So point of order.
Do you want to be escorted out of here? Do you want to be escorted out of here?
You're violating my First Amendment rights.
Talking.
You are violating my First Amendment rights.
That's your opinion.
It's not a matter of opinion.
Do you want to be escorted out, Ms. Massey? Because that's what's going to happen. And it's going to happen in the future also. Anytime you attack.
That's why you change the rules.
Or any.
That's why you change the rules.
This has been on the back of this form.
I understand, Mayor Hall, but that is completely unconstitutional.
No, it's
You're
not.
Also engaging in debate, and so you should actually be yielding the floor to somebody else managing.
Chief, could you have somebody come down here and escort Ms. Massey out?
Really, is that necessary?
Yes, I think it is.
In front of my 10-year-old daughter, you're going to escort me out for expressing my First Amendment rights.
She can go with you.
I'm not leaving.
Well.
I'm expressing my first. Do not touch me. Do not put your hands on me.
You just step out with me.
Do not put your hands on me.
Come on out.
Do not put your hands on me.
Come out with me now before you get arrested. Do you understand?
Are you detaining me?
Yes.
Why am I being detained? Under what charges? Under what charges?
Okay, so
I have personal property.
Hold on.
You cannot trespass me.
Yeah, she can go out there. Okay, I'll entertain a motion to go into E-session.
All right. So when you see the whole thing, it's like, oh. All right. So where to begin? Where to begin before I get to my story, my personal experience about this? Matter of fact, let me leave that up. So first of all, did y'all see how he walked up and grabbed and he thought he had it? He almost fell when they got by the chairs or whatever, because she pushed back on him. If he wasn't the cops, he probably could have took him. Like, that wasn't, she wasn't no toothpick. But shout out to her. Like, she was gonna stand her ground. She said, "I'm not leaving." And then you see how smug she was with it too, because after the mayor told her what she was doing wrong, she said, "That's all fine, well and good, but that's a violation of my First Amendment rights." She's right, but she's wrong. We all have a First Amendment right of freedom of speech. We're supposed to. That's how they're supposed to play. And she should have been able to speak her mind. But when you have organized meetings like this, they also have to be sure they keep a certain level of decorum, and they have to keep the drama down because they have to look at the greater good. If they let her do that, then everybody's going to do that. If people get personally attacked, people can get violent, people will cuss, it'll invoke emotions. It can get out of control. So the goal is, how do you find that balance? Yes, you want to let her speak. Let her speak. Y'all running the city off of her taxpayer dollars. You need to listen to what the residents got to say, even if it's hard to hear. And I do agree that personal attacks shouldn't be done, but I didn't hear her make any personal attacks. I heard her be concerned about what they were going to pay the attorney, I believe it was. But that's all good. That's what residents should do. Come in, voice their concerns. There was another person that was reviewing a part of this, and they said, well, that's what people come in for, is to complain to the board. No, that's not really what you're supposed to be coming into these meetings for. You're supposed to come in and bring awareness. This is my issue. This is what I think we need to fix. And you ask questions, what's going on? And it shouldn't be personal. All these people sitting up on this dais are regular people. They get up, they sleep, they eat, they do all the regular stuff you do. Their personal lives shouldn't be the focus of attention. Now, their personal lives may add to what their character is, but that shouldn't be the highlight. And so there should never be anything wrong with a resident coming in and asking, why did you vote on this? Why did you make this decision? Now, they come in and say, I saw you so-and-so, or I don't like the way you cut your grass, or I heard that, you don't want to get personal. I heard you dating so-and-so. You can't do that. You can't do all that. But that ain't what she was doing. And even if she was doing that, if she does it in a tasteful manner, meaning using no obscenity, she ain't cussing nobody out, she ain't threatening nobody, she's not raising her voice, she's keeping a certain poise. You have to judge each situation on its own. So you can't just do what you want, say what you want, and expect people to sit there and take it. Because again, like I said, these are regular people too. And if she came in there and went off on one of them and was putting them on blast personally, that person may do the same back. And now you're gonna have a situation where, like the mayor called that the chief in there, or the cop, or whoever that guy was, to drag that woman up out of there. What if they had to do that to one of the people at the dais? So imagine a situation where she personally attacked one of them. They started attacking her back. It got heated. And now that person behind the dais, the desk that they're sitting at, who's a council member, needs to be drugged out. How is that going to play? That gets real, real difficult. Trust me, I know. Which takes me back to my story. So I was in the council meeting. It was a closed meeting, so I got to be careful what I divulge in this. This earpiece, I got funny shaped ears, y'all. So these little earpieces that I have to listen to our stuff be sliding out of my ears. So I'm in the meeting, and the mayor and one of the aldermen. So aldermen and councilmen are the same thing. They just call it a different thing based on the classification of the city, but the responsibilities and all that don't change. So anyway, one of the aldermen and the mayor don't quite get along, and that's common. The mayors usually have half the board they get along with, the other half they don't. That's democracy, right? But it got real heated and personal in one of these meetings. It was a closed meeting, thank the Lord. And it got so bad, somebody wanted to hop over the desk. They wanted to hop over the dais. It was heated, right? Everybody was mad. And one of the aldermen got really, really disrespectful, like crazy disrespectful. Like you would have swore we was all in baggy clothes, standing behind a liquor store, drinking out of a bottle in a bag, smoking blunts. It got like hood disrespectful. Like we got into it over dice money. Like that's how it was, right? And the mayor went in. it's a female mayor too, so she had to defend herself. The mayor went in, and then the alderman went in. And anyway, I won't go into what was said and why it was said, but you get the point. It got a little out of control. And so the sergeant of arms is usually the police chief, or someone the chief designates or the mayor designates, but usually it's the chief. And it's their job to kind of keep the board in line. So in this meeting that you see sitting here, the sergeant of arms will be the chief, and it's the chief's job to be sure don't nobody get unruly, don't nobody get hurt, it don't get physical, it don't get crazy. But he still works for all these people at the dais. Those are his bosses. That's the board of directors sitting at this desk. So it's a real difficult position for the sergeant of arms to be in, aka the police chief, because what he gonna do? Like if they get into it, like in this situation right here, what if the mayor had this back and forth with one of the people sitting at the dais, one of the councilmen, and he calls the chief to come get one of them? First of all, they got to get behind the dais. That's number one. And number two, just because he have them removed, that's not having them fired. The mayor doesn't have the authority to fire any of these councilmen. They're on the same level. They just represent two different branches. The mayor is over the executive branch. The councilmen are over the legislative branch. The councilman as a whole is actually more powerful than the mayor, but they need to work hand in hand. The mayor handles the day-to-day. The councilman handles the rules. I always tell people, think of it like this. The mayor can do whatever they want within a set of rules and guidelines, policy and procedures. But the board is who sets those policies and procedures. So what you think that's going to look like if you have one of them board members removed, drugged up out of there like that lady was drugged up out of there, and they come to the office the next day? You know they're going to want to have the chief fight. They're going to take it personal because they still human. You can't do that. So anyway, that's exactly what happened. The chief was supposed to remove one of the board members in our meeting, and he was like a deer in headlights. He didn't really want to do it. And it made sense, right? It's like, bro, like, I can remove him, but we're not firing him. So he may come in the office tomorrow and the next day, and I got to deal with all this. This is rough. So he got a little shook. Called this to his officers. They came in, and there was like 4 or 5 of them. They stood at the door looking like, what do we do? They didn't want to do anything. They didn't want to remove the board member. And so one of them, and I actually like him, one of them got tough. One of the cops got tough and came to the dais and say, come on, man. Because see, they couldn't come behind the dais. That's the other thing. So they on the other side of this dais. So imagine like this picture here, you got 4 officers standing there trying to tell one of the council members, come on, man, you got to go with us. He's like, I'm not coming. Y'all got to come behind here to get me. Well, they came up to the desk. And the board member got up and he walked on the other side. Cussing, screaming, all that. And they didn't put their hands on them because if they would have, it would have escalated. It would have got crazy. Can you imagine your boss at your job, the CFO of your company that you work for, not the CFO, the CEO of the boss, the CEO of the company you work for, has a staff meeting. And in that staff meeting, he has the CFO there, the COO there, the CTO there, the head of human resources, all these people there, the president of the company, the vice president. And you're the security guard. And the CEO gets into it with the CFO and the vice president of the organization. And then the CEO tells you, as a security guard, you need to remove the CFO and the president. What you gonna do? Because just because you removed them from that meeting don't mean they fired. So the next day and every day after that, it's gonna be so awkward. So anyway, that's what happened. It's still beef behind that to this day because that stuff happened back then. So my whole point in telling that story is this is such a difficult situation for people to be in, and they got to remember time is money. And the reason why he had to have this lady drug up out of there is because you cannot come in here and set precedent by saying what you want to do and what you want. Now, a lot of people are going to say her First Amendment rights was violated. Was it? Let's talk about it. Leave it in the comments. I'm going to do another review of this in a separate video because I think it's so much to unpack in this video, and it was a good one. Unfortunately, it was at this lady's expense. But it's such a teachable moment in local politics and how meetings are supposed to be held when people get unruly, because at the end of the day, you can't have a business meeting and let somebody who's not a part of the agenda or business meeting come in and dictate what's happening. You know, if that's the case, then that's giving them free reign to shut down all of your meetings, and that's not going to work, you know. So it's a slippery slope, but we'll get into that later. So please, you guys, get my likes up. Be sure to like. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. But I'm going to get into that in another video just to break it down even further and actually respond to another good reaction that was done on it. But let's get to the next thing. Let's get to the next thing. There's an update in the Super Mayor Tiffany Henyard saga. The saga continues. I swear it's like something every day with this lady. It's like, man, what you doing? Like, y'all, I don't want to see her go to jail, y'all. I don't. You know, I low-key think she kind of cute, for real. If she go to jail, I'm gonna write her. I'm gonna be a pen pal. But now, Carmen Carlisle, Trustee Carmen Carlisle, her name, none of y'all can say her first and last name 10 times in a row. Say Carmen Carlisle 10 times in a row right now. You can't do it. But she's officially calling herself a whistleblower. She's putting her on blast. And you guys remember I talked about this, it was either this last show or the one before that, talking about how she exposed Mayor Henryard for knowing that she was the one who did the Tiffany Henyard Cares Foundation. And then when she got caught up, tried to come to her house unannounced and say, you need to say somebody else to start this thing, basically get her to be a co-conspirator against her bad deeds when it came to the Tiffany Cares Foundation. But apparently she's got more whistles to blow. Let's hear in this news report what else Carlisle has got to say for right now. This is interesting. It's unfolding.
WGN Investigates has learned South suburban politician Tiffany Henyard has lost another key ally. Until recently, Henryard enjoyed near unanimous support on the Thornton Township board, but now trustee Carmen Carlisle says after trusting Henryard and remaining silent, she will be a whistleblower against Henryard. Carlisle released a statement to WGN that reads in part, for the past 2 years, Henryard has manipulated employees, vendors, and residents using her position to increase her influence, all while projecting a false image of success funded by the hardworking taxpayers of Thornton Township and the village of Dolton. Henryard shows no accountability or conscience for her actions against employees or taxpayers. Henryard has denied wrongdoing and claims her opponents are out for what she calls clickbait. Tomorrow at 9, tune in for exclusive new reporting on Henryard's spending that she tried to keep secret.
So this is what I think is going on. And when you all take a look at that other video that I got up, and you'll see it. I'll put up some more thumbnails for it too. But Carmen Carlisle was on the board of directors for the Tiffany Henyard Cares Foundation. She was her assistant at that time. She said that she was in those rooms. So she knows where a whole lot of bodies are buried. Now that there's an FBI investigation looming and getting closer and closer, because you got to remember, Henryard don't have just she got the FBI on her ass. She's got Lori Lightfoot on her ass. She's got the state of Illinois on her ass. She's got the residents on her ass. Wait till they start sharing and comparing notes. Wait till the attorney general really starts getting serious. It's going to be a whole problem. And so we saw Keith Friedman flip on him. Keith Friedman was like, I'm gonna start working with the board. Y'all may have fired me, but I'm gonna start working with the trustees because I ain't finna take the fall. Because think about it, if you was in Henyard's position, what would you do? You're gonna blame your right hand man. You're gonna say, man, well, he was doing this and I didn't know. Keith Friedman was like, no, you ain't finna do that to me. I was following your direction. Same thing with the chief. The chief done got indicted too now. Chief gone. Carmen Carlisle is looking at the dominoes fall. She knows she's one of those dominoes because she was an assistant. She saw and heard some things. She's on paperwork. Her name is on paperwork, so she's written some things. She said didn't ask a lot of questions before. That means she's done some things. Now, I'm not saying she's done anything illegal. We don't know that. I don't know that. She could have just been going along to get along. But what we do know is she knows some things. And what she's trying to do is get from under the line of fire and say, hey, okay, I'm telling what it is. For all we know, the FBI could have came to her and told her. They could have came, knocked on that door in them trench coats they be wearing and say, hey, come on outside. Come on. Carlisle, come on outside. Right now. I need to talk to you. I need to talk to you about what's going on. And we need to know what's happening in those rooms that you talked about. You said you was in some of those rooms. Remember that? Remember that part? You said. We see your name on the articles of incorporation for the Tiffany Henyard Cares Foundation. We saw that too. Carmen probably got scared. You know, her significant other probably said, hey, baby, look, if you seen something, you heard something, you better tell that truth. Go on, tell it. Well, us to say, if I'm gonna tell it, then I gotta tell it all. Damn, they cried when I got that phone call. She got that call from the feds and got shook. And she said, I'm finna blow every whistle I got because I ain't finna do it. Especially if she ain't getting none of that money. Because we still trying to find out what happens with that 3.6 or more. I don't know. Maybe it could have been ciphered through the foundation. Let me not add to the narrative because we don't know that. I'm not finna add to it. But what I am going to say is this is developing very, very fast, and it's very, very interesting what's happening here. And I'm uncomfortable about it because I don't want to see a city like this fall. I don't want to see a township fall like that. I mean, is it good for news and news cycle? Yeah. Is it entertaining to talk about and report on it? Absolutely. It is what it is. But and thank you for your comments. Please be sure to like. Let's get this out here. Hit that like button for me, please. But we know that it's residents' tax dollars that are getting mishandled. Now, this is what it will do. This is what it will do. Yes, it's going to turn some people off with politics because they're going to be like, yeah, Henry is just another lying-ass politician like we've always had. That's what some people are going to say. But some people, they're going to get excited and they're going to say, no, I can do a better job. If they let her do this, I can get in there and do a better job. They can get involved. They can try to make a change. So it will spark some ideas and the attention to some people. And I think that's a good thing. So anyway, we're going to see how this continues to develop when it comes to the Tiffany Henyard thing. It's crazy how all of this stuff is really, really coming and going. Anyway, let's move on to the next thing. I get all flustered, man, because I'm really, really disappointed in how some of that stuff has been going. Because I think when she starts talking about all of these programs, y'all come for the bad stuff, y'all don't come for the good stuff. Y'all don't want to talk about when what she say? When I'm doing bingo for the people, I'm cutting grass, or we doing the stuff for the seniors and all that. Y'all don't want to talk about that. Y'all don't want to talk about that. Well, those are good programs, right? We do got to acknowledge the good in that. But when you do all the bad stuff, it muddies the waters. Somebody say muddy the waters. That's what it does. And it just turns you off. And then it also gives lies a voice. Like the old ladies used to say, a lie will get halfway around the world before the truth gets its pants on. And so I don't think everything they're saying about Mayor Henyard is true. But what I do think is that some of the stuff is lies, but the lies, it's just getting bigger and bigger now. It's just the lies are easier to tell, let me put it that way, because it can feed into another narrative that's bigger. So anyway, we're going to move away from Henyard because there's going to be other stuff that's going to come up. We're going to have plenty to talk about later. Let's get on to this next thing that's a little crazy. Black voters are really feeling some kind of way about Harris, and they getting excited about Trump, which is crazy. But is he crazy? I don't know. And I'm not saying you crazy if you want to vote for Trump or you want to vote for Kamala. Vote your heart, your conscience. I'm going to stress it again. Be selfish with your vote. Look at what you want. Forget what your friends say, what your mama, your uncle, your daddy. Forget what they say about Kamala or Trump, whatever. Be selfish. Look at what the issues are when you go to the grocery store, when you go to your job, when you go to the gas pump, when you do whatever it is you like to do. Think about what matters. Think about the changes that Kamala says she's going to make. Think about the changes Trump says he's going to make. Look at the track record to figure out if they are capable of being consistent with what they say they're going to do, and vote your heart and go for it. All we can do is hope that whatever our issues are, the majority of the country feels the same way, and that way whoever we want to win will win. But do that. Just please, whatever you do, don't vote for somebody just because your friend told you to. Do the research, because I've had some interesting things happen with Kamala and with Trump, where I thought one way about something, I've said something, and I don't like Kamala because of this, that, and the other. And somebody said to me, well, that's not true. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It is. It's true. You lying. And then they'll tell me something, I'll read, and I say, oh, damn, they were right. I didn't know that. I was ignorant to that fact. And then I read up more and learned more and learned more. Same thing happened with Trump. I'm like, man, I ain't rocking with Trump. Somebody said to me, now you lying. What you mean? I ain't lying. Everybody been saying. And then I read about it, and I said, oh, wait a minute. I'm wrong. And I learned something about both of them that I liked, and I learned something about both of them that I hated. And I saw that consistently happening. And so that made me think, okay, MSNBC ain't going to do it for me. Fox ain't going to get it, and CNN ain't got it. Let me do my own research so I can figure it out for myself. That's what you should do. And that's what these people are doing. Let's look at this. This is serious, funny, weird, scary, thought-invoking.
I go for Donald Trump. Me too. I go for Trump.
Trump the best.
Nah, I'm a Trump supporter.
Wait a minute, let me talk about that. Y'all see them kids in the window talking about I'm voting for Trump. You remember when you be in the window when you was a kid, your mom like, get back, get your little ass out the window, get back, get out, boy, if you don't get back, sit back. Why they had their seatbelts on? Somebody they voting for Trump. They can't vote no way. I mean, come on. Like, I'm saying, come on. Sit back.
I'm a Trump supporter, man.
Trump. Y'all know we're going to need Trump in that joint.
But everything Trump over on this side of town.
Oh, look at my African-American over here. Look at him. Are you the greatest?
What's going on, guys? We're in the south side of Chicago, Barack Obama's old neighborhood. His library is being built right around the corner from here.
Shout out to Benny on the Block. This is a report Benny on the Block did. He got a lot of good stuff out there. He gets on the grounds, and he's basically in Obama's neighborhood in Chicago and talking to voters about how they feel, because they still look at Obama as the leader of the party. It doesn't matter who's running, just because he made such an impact. So that's why it's significant. What I don't like about this, how they talk about it, is if Obama's running against Trump again, but because this is still new. But a lot of people have just disregarded Harris as a viable contender. So they always revert back to Obama, especially since Obama's speech was so impactful at the DNC.
What do people think about Barack Obama here? And what do they think about Donald Trump? Let's go ask. Yo, man, the south side of Chicago is rough. abandoned houses, blight, tough-looking neighborhoods, some of the deadliest in the world right here. There have been shootings since the start of the DNC convention in this neighborhood. We pulled up on a street corner and thought we'd just ask the residents here what they think about Obama and Trump. The last thing we were expecting were these answers.
You could be a scholar.
Wow.
Strong. That's strong.
I'll go for Trump. I go for Donald Trump.
Sit back.
I go for Trump.
Sit
Who are you
back.
voting for in 2024?
Trump too.
And why is that, ma'am?
He the best president ever. He never did anything since he been in office.
Yeah.
And I'm glad he out. Trump.
Now, here's my problem with that statement. If she truly feels like Trump is the best president ever, fine, but why? That's all I want to know. Why? Give me something to quantify that statement, because that may be true. I don't know. Maybe you got some information I don't have. But just say why. Just like if she would have said, I'm voting for Kamala, she's going to be the best president ever. Why? That may be true, but tell me why. Don't just be saying that just because it's trendy, it's newsworthy, it's cool. Just because she's a woman of color, don't do that. Tell me what she going to do.
The best.
Barack Obama, I ain't got no message to say him. I don't mess with Barack Obama.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm a Trump supporter. Trump do more for black people and care more about black people. And Barack Obama ain't black. Just to let that be known.
All right. What about?
Now, see, some people be saying stuff just because it's controversial too, and it's a camera in their face. They want to go viral. We got to keep that in mind too. Because when they say Trump has done a lot for he's the best president, he's done a lot. He has done some things. I can tell you 3 things that he has done. But just because he did those 3 things, that don't mean he's going to be the best president. That just means he's done those things. And see, that's what be killing me, because I've had a lot of conversations with people who are voting for Trump, and I ask them why, and they can't tell you really why. They just say stuff. And let me be clear, I'm undecided on who I'm gonna vote for because I want to see more. I just got to see more, because I've seen some good stuff from Trump that I like, and some stuff I don't like at all. Like, what the hell? And then I've seen some stuff that's interesting about Kamala, and then a lot of stuff that I don't like at all. To be honest with you, I'm not that excited about either one at all, but a decision has to be made. And so I know how I feel. I got personal feelings on it, but my feelings are not facts. So on this one, I got to go by the data, and I don't have enough data yet. Honestly, I'll probably make my decision on who I'm going to vote for probably around Halloween-ish. I'm going to be one of them last minute voters. I'm going to vote for sure. I'm all with that, but I need more data.
What about Kamala Harris?
I don't f with her either. All Trump all day.
Yeah. What's your message to Donald Trump today?
Keep going. Come get us, man. We waiting on you.
I love this guy right here. Let me give this guy a hug right here. I love this guy right here. Yeah, amen. Yes.
I'm a Trump supporter, man. We gonna keep this going. Trump, he a real businessman. I'm a real Republican, man. I want Trump back in office, second term.
What would be your message to Barack Obama?
Now, let me point out something too with this, and this is something you guys got to understand about black voters in the ghetto, in the hood. When you're from the ghetto, you're from the hood. Let me classify that. I consider the hood being an area that's over 95% black, like in the 98th percentile of black, where the average income is lower middle class. Right at the poverty level is the majority. I said the average, but you know what I'm saying. That's what I consider the hood. And then I consider the ghetto the majority. So let me say it a little different. The average in the hood would be lower to middle class, and you're looking at 98% black. I consider the ghetto 98% black, 95 or more % black, and the average income is at the poverty line. And crime is elevated more per capita than anywhere else in that localized area. I think I know I don't have that written down. I just kind of shot from the hip on that one, trying to think out loud. So I know that may sound a little convoluted, and I'm willing to go into that more in the comments. But that's how I classify it. My point that I'm trying to get to is when you're from either one, because the conditions are similar, you're used to the struggle. That's what I'm getting to. And when you're used to the struggle, you're used to figuring it out on your own. You're used to the idea that nobody's going to come help you or save you. You can only count on yourself and the people in your direct household. Nobody else matters. Y'all going to starve together. Y'all going to struggle together. Y'all going to fight together. Y'all going to cry together. Y'all going to die together. When you have that mentality most of your life, that's all you know. It don't really matter to you who the leadership is outside, because you don't see how what their decisions are, how they're going to impact you. And you got to look at it that way when you listen to these voters or people speaking, because you don't know who's really eligible to vote. But you got to look at that frame of thought when you see some people say certain things, because some of them really don't even care. And they don't care because they just don't see how it impacts them. That's why I really wish they would get more involved with the local government stuff, because the judges will impact you, the judges you pick, especially if you have a criminal past or friends and family that have a criminal past. Or just in your area, you don't want to get caught up in a bad situation and get ruled upon by a judge that's less than savory. You know, imagine if you ain't never been in trouble your whole life and you get caught up in something, mistaken identity or something like that, and then you get a judge like the one up in Detroit who locked a 15-year-old girl up. How you think that's going to play for you? I can tell you how it's going to play. It won't be very well. Let's continue here.
Oh, pump some money in here. Pump some money like Trump, you know?
You can't even get a McDouble for $1 anymore. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, absolutely. So prices is definitely taking a hit. And when the economy takes a hit, you definitely see a surge in crime. Whether it be white collar or, you know, your typical street crimes, because everybody's trying to make ends meet. Everybody's trying to get an extra dollar, you know?
Your message to Donald Trump.
Come on, man. Get us to the Super Bowl, bro. Make America great, man. That's all I can say. Make America great.
Trump. Get us to the Super Bowl, bro. That really, I was with him with the McDouble thing. You know what I'm saying? If Trump can get McDoubles back down to $1, if Kamala can get, you know, gas prices down to $1, that's the thing that I want them to do. You know what I wish they could do? This is what I wish I could see happen. I wish Trump and Kamala could be in Madison Square Garden. Imagine this. Just imagine with me. Madison Square Garden, Trump and Kamala alone with a bottle of whiskey. Kamala got a cigarette. Trump got a cigar. They having a conversation. And there's a mediator. I'm thinking a little Asian lady who grew up in the hood. That would be cool. Little mediator. And they just talk about what they gonna do. And she just say, well, what? And that's how the questions go. The little lady say, so what about food prices? What y'all gonna do? They take a shot, take a sip, take a puff. Well, I think I'm gonna do this. This is what I think we should do. No, this is what I think I should do. Okay, cool. And they just go down the list. What about gas prices? What about guns? What about schools? What about immigration? Like, and they just went down the list, and then the voters can pick what they wanted to do. Like the next day we all go and then we vote based on that. That would be so dope, and it'll be easy.
Gonna shout the wins for all of us. Make America great again.
In the neighborhood or at the barbershop, a lot of people supporting Trump. And a lot of people are informed. We're moving into an age where people are getting knowledge and understanding that we're not just taking what people are telling us.
Everyone's so friendly around here.
Yeah,
everyone's so friendly around
here. I'm supposed to be interviewing people. You're supposed to be somewhere chilling.
I need chain game.
Like this. Here we go. Here we go.
What's up, my
Who
guy?
we need up in there? Who we finna let drop a bag in the hood? Who we want to get the bag back flowing in the hood?
Y'all know we gonna need Trump in that joint. Y'all
You
know
ain't
we
gonna
gonna
find
need
a
Trump
soul
in
around
that
here. They gonna say Trump.
Y'all got
Now, see, and all this is that they said, none of them have said what they expect Trump to do. That's all I'm saying. Maybe Trump is the better pick, but what is it that he said that identified with you, sir? Because if it's something he said that identified with you, it may be something that identifies with me or somebody else too that we didn't even know. But what you just saying that, and then you talking about McDoubles and shit, like that's not enough for me. And then you went from talking about he opened the conversation talking about McDoubles for $1, and then he started talking about, but a lot of people in the barbershops ready to vote for Trump and they're informed. Well, give us some of the information. Share it with us.
to dig what's going on, man.
Yeah, I'm taking over Benny Show, man. It's Odie, man. I'm a YouTuber, man. Y'all get at me, man. But everything Trump over on this side of town. I ain't gonna lie to you. You can go everywhere. You see how dry this motherfucker is? We need Trump, boy. Whatever it's gonna do to make this flow back, man. Get it up. Let's get it going immediately, man.
Everyone remembers life was better under Trump. That's what everyone remembers.
Yeah.
Gas prices were like $1.
Yeah. I was little.
Groceries were cheaper.
$1.89. I just left the gas station. Gas $6, $5.49, like that. So if he had a part to play in that, we need him.
Yeah.
ASAP right now.
And Chicago Benny needs a good economy because he's got expensive taste.
But did you hear what he said? He said if he had a part in that. That's the kind of stuff we need to know. I think when we talk about the wars and all of that kind of stuff, we forget. You got a lot of people that like, was we talking? Can I talk to y'all? I mean, let me know if I'm saying too much, but if I can talk, let me talk. If I grew up in St. Louis. They say Chicago was bad. My brothers was from Chicago. My oldest brother's dead. Gang violence, Chicago. My other brother, he's done life. I get what it is. And I grew up in St. Louis, and St. Louis is off the chain. How do you expect people from the hood who've had friends who've been killed by gun violence, families been killed by gun violence, you've seen shootouts, you've been a part of that world, you've really, really seen it and felt it. You got friends that you don't know gonna come home. You got mothers who don't know if their sons are gonna come home, their husbands are gonna come home. From just going to the damn store. You can get shot in the ass going to church in the hood. Real talk. So when you don't know, how do you expect them to care about what's going on in Ukraine? I mean, it sounds bad, right? But why do they care when the same stuff is happening on their street corners every day? How you think people feel when money's getting sent to other countries, but then they got student loan debt for a job they couldn't get? Or they can't keep the lights on, but you just sent a couple $1 trillion somewhere. And you sent it to a country that none of the people who paying the taxes can afford to ever go. How do you think people feel when you start talking about abortion rights? But these same women who have to make this decision can't afford to feed themselves, let alone their baby, because of inflation prices. But you sending money away. And y'all talking about raising taxes. How do you think people feel or care about home ownership and the values when they struggling to pay their rent and keep their lights on? I mean, you got real people with real kitchen table issues trying to figure it out. And they convoluted with so much marketing and so much media and all that stuff. Don't nobody know what the hell they voting for. Because all they want to know is, can you make my neighborhood safer, cheaper, increase the opportunities, allow me to grow my business the way I want to without all the red tape, to do what I want to do with my body without all of the restrictions. Like that is the basic stuff that Americans want to understand first. And yeah, it's going to be differences, because if you grew up in a place where none of those were ever issues for you, you're not going to see the same world in the place where you grew up where all of those are issues for you. But don't smear the campaign. Don't convolute it. Put it out there so we know what we're doing, what we signing up for. Don't have me thinking I need more money in my pocket. I need a cheaper place to live. I want it to be safer. But because of the way you marketed your campaign, I'm voting for you, and you're not for any of that. Give me the information so I can vote for the person that's for that. Just like if I'm on the other side, if I'm good, I ain't worried about where I'm going to eat, where I'm going to live, and all that. I'm good. And you a leader that's for that. Let me know so I can vote for that. Like, make it make sense. Don't just have me out here looking crazy. That's what these voters need to do or need to know in order to be informed.
Look at that.
Oh, that is lift me up, man. YouTuber, man.
Oh, look at that.
Benny, who you going for, Benny?
My president is making America great again, Donald Trump.
I'm going with Trump too. We locked in. That's what I'm talking about, man. I need the job with you, man.
I love Chicago.
It's my long lost twin, man. Separated at birth, man.
Better tattoos, better style, better hair.
We both good looking though, man. That's all that counts, man.
Better teeth. And a better ride. All right.
These lights are so bright in my eyes that I can't see too many people out there. But I can only see the black ones. I can't see any white ones. You see? That's.
Oh Lord, let me stop. Let me stop there right now, because that's where it gets interesting. So I think I've said enough about this. Let me get into the next thing, the last thing in for the show today. And Michaela Montgomery. Well, I want to call her Michaela McCullough. That ain't her name. Her name is Michaela Montgomery. And we've been showing clips and pieces of what she's had going on, where she was on a show introducing who she was. Just to remind you guys, that's the young lady who handed Kamala Harris her ass at that Trump rally in Atlanta. Black lady known as the Chick-fil-A girl that Trump met in Chick-fil-A. A lot of personality. She does have that star factor. A lot of people have mixed views on her. Some people think that she's a traitor to her race, which she shouldn't be considered a traitor to her race just because her who she wants to vote for is different. But some people are saying that. And some people are saying that she's ignorant to the culture. Some people saying she just got a bag. And that's what's swaying how she makes her decision. And then you got some people that are just saying she's stupid. They're just mad. They don't want to hear nothing she got to say. What do I think? I think the young lady's articulate, and I think she's informed, and I think she's speaking her truth, and I think she got a bag as well. She's a tool. She's a marketing tool. Could be a good tool, could be a bad tool, but that part ain't for me to say. But what I will say is she's definitely a marketing tool. She's definitely a secret weapon for the Trump administration, because what she can do is she can speak to things that she can speak to black issues that white legislators have a hard time grasping. And I think strategically that's a good play from a marketing standpoint. And I think a lot of things she says is actually true. The question is the context that she's framing it in. But let's dig into this and let's see what's going on. It gets a little entertaining, because so where they're at in the again, we're picking up. I'm just going excerpts from this since it was so long. But let's see how much more time is in this interview here by looking at this clock. It's quite a bit, so I don't know if we can get through all of it today. We'll get through some of it, but she I think all right, she got a bag, and she is informed, and she is a tool. That's what I think flat out. Now, do I think she's wrong with everything she says? No. What I definitely think is people are wrong for saying that just because she's black and supports Trump the way that she does, that she's a bad person, or she's wrong, or she's stupid. That's not fair. Maybe she's misinformed, but she's obviously not stupid. Maybe she's been paid off, but she's obviously not stupid. But everything she says ain't wrong. Judge for yourself. Let's look at this together.
Or lack of initiative to actually do something in regards to.
Oh, I'm sorry. And that's where I left. I'm sorry. I lost my train of thought when I was looking at the little time to figure out how much was left on this specific clip. Where they are is she was introducing herself and how she met Trump, what she stands for in the organization that she represents, and why she's voting Republican and why she considers herself a conservative. And there are people calling in who are interacting with her. They have a hotline where the Republicans can call in on one line, Democrats can call in on another line, and the independents can call in on another line. And then she just responds to the questions. Some of the questions have been good. Some of them have been disrespectful. I think it's all been entertaining, but it's been very, very fiery. So let's get into this.
Saving our children and saving our schools.
All right, let's talk to Sam in Rome, Georgia, Democrat. Hi, Sam.
Hi, good morning. And I have a question I want to ask her first. And then if you will indulge me, I do have a comment I'd like to make after I hear her question, her answer to my question.
Sure, go ahead.
Before we get into it, too, remember she did all that complaining about the lack of education, but we also have a Republican governor here who had a hand in that as well. So it goes both ways. Anyway, I want to ask her, she touts herself as a smart person, so let's test it. What is the mitigating factor that made the Democratic South turn over to the Republican Party? And I'm waiting for your answer.
What made the Democratic South turn over to the Republican Party?
What is the mitigating?
I don't know what answer you're looking for, and I wouldn't know how to answer that. But I can say, again, I only speak to my personal experiences, sir. So for people to question my intelligence as if my life is somehow invalid is very interesting to me.
So Sam, go ahead with your point.
Yes,
I believe you're talking about the Civil Rights Act.
The answer to the question is the Civil Rights Act.
The same Civil Rights Act that was authored by Republicans? Okay.
Can I finish, please?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The act that gave you the right to sit in the chair that you're sitting in right now and vote. People in the city that you just moved into 10 years ago died for that cause. There are people still fighting for that same cause as we speak. That in America, they were in the southern part of this state to which I live and I love. They caught people trying to fake the electors in this state, in the Republican Party.
We also caught illegals with IDs and trying to vote, but I guess we wouldn't know.
If you will look at the history to which I'm sure you claim to know or you do know, the history of your state, you should be aware that people have died for the cause to vote. And now the people
also died for the cause for us to read.
Hold on, Kayla, let him finish.
May I finish, if it's okay? Your mother should have taught you a little better than to interrupt.
All right, Sam, just go ahead and finish your point.
Thank you.
But the people that have died for this cause are still fighting for the same cause. Now, it's okay if you want to be Republican or Democrat, but not these Republicans. They are of a different ilk. They are of a different structure. They are the same structure that left the Democratic Party to come to the now Republican Party. And that's my comment.
All right,
Thank
Sam.
you.
Go ahead, Kayla.
All right, so let's start with the 1964 Civil Rights Act, or the Voting Rights Act, correct? That was all a ploy by Lyndon B. Johnson to get Black people to support the Democratic Party for the next 200 years. And unfortunately, the tactic worked because, much like you heard our caller say, they're still fighting for the right to vote. There's not one American citizen without a felony who does not have the right to vote. All you need is an ID and you can go vote. He also didn't acknowledge the fact that while he's saying we had fake electors, we also had fake citizens going to vote in our election. So, of course, I guess we just won't talk about election integrity in that sense. Next, the ploy to get black people to vote for them for the next 200 years was a fear tactic because, again, black people then thought that if they did not vote Democrat, they would lose their right to vote. And even though Ronald Reagan came in and didn't take away black people's right to vote, for whatever reason, Democrats every election season get up and talk voter suppression, protect your right to vote. Black people died for the right to vote. Black people also died for the right to read. So I wish a lot of you would please go read the Willie Lynch letters. I wish a lot of you would go read more about Jim Crow and how, like, you know, the systems were set up to basically make us believe that we were victims for the rest of our life. So now let's talk about the migrant issue and how it relates to the 1964 Voting Rights Act, correct? The Voting Rights Act was put in place so that black people would be a loyal Democratic voting base. Black people are now leaving the Democratic Party.
Wait. Kayla, you're saying that the only reason the Civil Rights Act was passed was her votes?
No. The major portion of said legislation was the fact that it gave black people the right to vote, right? And Democrats touted the fact that they gave black people the right to vote. They then used fear-mongering to make black people believe that if they did not vote Democrat, they would lose their right to vote and whatever other rights and resources that were granted to them by these Democrats, correct? Now that you see black people leaving the Democratic Party, now that you see black people calling out the Democratic Party, now that you see black people tired of living in the same conditions that they were in when the bill was signed, they no longer have that loyal voting base. So you know what they're doing now? Now they're opening the borders. They're letting these migrants in. They're giving them these welcome packages full of food stamps, housing assistance, whatever else, that housing and clothing and whatever else it is maybe that they need in order to come over here and live comfortably. Why? Because now when you have these illegal migrants coming over here and it's clear that the Republicans are like, no, get them out. Now you have a new loyal voting base who's like, oh God, if we don't vote for the Democrats, we're not only going to lose our right to vote, but we're possibly going to lose our citizenship as well. It's never been a thing where we're going to do this for the betterment of the black community or the Latino community. It's always been, we're going to do this so that we can stay in power and we're going to manipulate the masses into believing that we are for them. And even though they will continue to vote for us, we will never do anything for them, but we will play on their feelings for stuff that we did 60 years ago.
Okay. And Dave.
Okay. Well, let's wrap that up in a little bow. She got a lot of points. She made a lot of points. That's why I've said consistently, be selfish with your vote. Figure out what matters to you and vote that way. Now, listening to what the gentleman said when he spoke about the Civil Rights Act and voting, it was true what he said. But it was true what she was saying as well. And the thing about that is she says that she doesn't like when people try to reflect on history and make her life seem invalid, her life experiences. As I mentioned earlier, we know what traditionally people have voted for, whatever your race, color, creed, and all of that. We know what that is. It don't take, if you've been voting in more than one election, you know what that is. If you've been watching the news, you know what that is. But you got to look at what's happening in your life. Why? History is a good reference point. But you're making history right now. And so you have to take a look at what your life is saying about history. It's good to know where you came from and what things used to be so you can learn from those mistakes. You can pivot, you can course correct. But you also got to look at what matters to you today. And you vote on that kind of stuff. And you figure out, all right, this is what's going on with me today. Let me look at history, how we got here. And then let me figure out how we can merge the best of what we did wrong back in the day, meaning right those wrongs, and look at the best of what we have now, enhance that and put together a brighter future. The only way you can do that, you can't do that with party loyalty. That won't work. What you can do is look at what those issues are to you and then figure out how to move forward with that. So anyway, we can talk about this all day. We're just going to go with that one comment that the caller had for her. We're going to just do one of these each day. That's how we're going to end the show each day this week. I'm going to be back on tomorrow, roughly around the same time. I had a couple meetings today. I got a couple meetings this evening too. It's been a busy day, man. Like it's just been kind of crazy. But I think the fact that you guys could have been anywhere in the world, but y'all decided to spend some time with me today. And I value your time and your efforts. I also value you when you like and you comment and you subscribe to help push this culture, push this movement forward of the unlikely candidate. But until next time, until tomorrow, I want you to stay unlikely, be unstoppable. Do something nice for somebody. Go hug your mama. Go hug your daughter. Go hug somebody. Tell them they beautiful. Say you beautiful, baby. Tell somebody something nice about them today. Put a smile on something. That's everybody's homework. Go put a smile on somebody's face. All right, let me stop. I meant what I said, though, you guys. Stay unlikely, be unstoppable. I'll see you guys tomorrow. And thank you so much for spending time with me. And I'm going to holler at you on the next one.